Hey there, I'm Susan and I have the egg diet of egg diets for you. Now, I'm sure you have seen this everywhere on YouTube, everywhere on Instagram. It is just the diet. Now, this is not going to be that intense keto egg diet where, super bodybuilder people eat nothing but hard-boiled eggs for 7 days. No, this is a gentler, lighter one. It's not that gentle though, but it is very effective. So this is the 7-day egg diet where you eat hard-boiled eggs, you eat oatmeal, you eat apples, and you have a little bit of frozen berries and flaxseed, ground flaxseed on top of your oatmeal. And that's what you eat for the day. You eat majority eggs though. So this is something that intrigued me. I actually talked 3 of my girlfriends into doing it with me. So I wanted to share that with you today. So I'm going to tell you all about what you're going to eat and when you're going to eat it. I'll give you the exact diet so you can screenshot it and use that as your template if you want to try it out. And I will also check in with you every single day and let you know how I'm feeling and what my weight loss is. So this is very, very exciting. So first of all, I want to start out with what you eat. And I think that will kind of get you started and help you. So first of all, what you do is you go out to the store and you get a whole bunch of eggs because you're going to need them. So on this diet, you do something called intermittent fasting. After my daily check-ins and I tell you how much I lose each day, I'll give you a brief kind of lesson on what intermittent fasting is. But basically, it is eating 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day and then fasting or not eating the rest of the 16 hours of the day. It's called 16-8 intermittent fasting. And so for me, I chose my hours to be between noon and 8 p.m. to eat. So that is number 1. Number 2, let's talk about what you eat. So in the morning, I would wake up, and that is probably around 7 a.m.-ish for me. You figure it out what works with your schedule, but for me, that's 7 a.m. And I drank a 16-ounce glass of water and then a cup of green tea. Yes, green tea is very important on this. So the first thing you do to kind of, nourish your body is to drink some green tea. I will show you everything, all the brands that I used, and you will see exactly what I eat and where I got them from. So I drank a cup of caffeinated green tea, which only has half the caffeine of coffee, and then I had 16 ounces of water. And then at 11 a.m. It was noon, at noon. There was one day where I did 11 to 7 because that worked best with my schedule, but at noon on most days, I would have 16 ounces of water, and then I'd have my first 3 hard-boiled eggs, and then I would also have a cup of green tea. And again, I chose to have another cup of caffeinated. You can do caffeinated or decaf, whatever you want. Now, at my lunchtime, which was kind of around 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., depending on the day, I'd have another 16 ounces of water and another 3 hard-boiled eggs, and I'd add in an apple. Now, at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., I would have a snack, and that snack was 16 ounces of water, 1 cup of decaf green tea, because I'm very caffeine sensitive, so I'm not trying to be all jittery at night and not go to sleep. So I would have a decaf cup of green tea and then a second apple. And then at dinner time, which usually came around 7-ish, maybe 7:30-ish, I would have a cup of oatmeal. So that's literally a half cup of dry oats. And this is plain oatmeal. This isn't like maple and brown sugar or apple and cinnamon. This is plain oatmeal with no added anything. And you can use instant for that if you want to. I chose to do the old-fashioned oats. You can do rolled oats. You can do, any kind of oatmeal that you want, but it has to be plain and non-flavored. Okay, and then that's a half a cup of dry oats, which comes out to be a cup of cooked oats. And then I added a cup of frozen berries and a tablespoon of ground flax seeds. So the flax seeds you can or cannot do. I like doing that because it has a lot of nutritional benefits, and it added, how about that? It added some more. It added like a nutty taste. It added some extra flavor. So I chose to do that. And then the last thing I would do before I went to bed was I would have, not went to bed, but I got into bed and kind of, started to do my bedtime routine and wind down for the night, I would drink a cup of decaf green tea. And I know what you're thinking, that's a lot of green tea. Yes, so green tea is really great for expelling things out of your body. It's a great antioxidant. And I found that it really curbed the hunger as well. So yes, that is your entire diet. That is a whole bunch of eggs, And let me see, I think I wrote down what that was per day. So for every day, you have 6 hard-boiled eggs, you have 4 cups of green tea, you have 2 apples, a half a cup of dry oats, which equals a cup of cooked oats. You have a tablespoon of flaxseed, a cup of frozen berries, and for me, I chose to do 4 bottles of water or 4 16-ounce glasses of water or more, but that's the minimum that you should have as far as water is concerned. And let me give you a couple of tips. So the first tip that I have is to get all of your liquids in early. Try to stop drinking your last, tea or your last water at least 2 hours before you go to bed. Because if you don't, you'll be up all night because your bladder will be screaming at you. And the second tip I have is to cook your eggs ahead of time because, I don't know, I think it's really good to be prepared and for things to be easy for you. And I did not know this before this diet, but hard-boiled eggs in the refrigerator, peeled or unpeeled, stay fresh for 7 days. That's a whole week, and that's the entire length of this diet. And then I think it's important to make your 8-hour window of intermittent fasting work for your lifestyle. It can be any 8 hours of the day that you choose to eat all of your food and spread it out. It's just important to, make it work for whatever your lifestyle is that day. For me, most of the time it was noon to 8, but sometimes it was, I think one day it was 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then thirdly, I think this is very important. Do not add any sweeteners or salty spices. You can, if you are dying, you can add some cinnamon or you can add some like garlic powder or something. But the best thing to do is not to add any sweeteners, not to add any spices, salt, or seasonings or anything to your food. Like eat your food in its natural state. You won't believe like what non-sodium spices and 0-cal sweeteners taste like after the 7 days. You're like, oh my gosh, stevia is amazing. Mrs. Dash is amazing. I never thought onion powder and paprika could taste so good. I think one of the really cool things about this diet, it's an exercise of tasting real food, and it resets your body to say, wow, this is what, fruit tastes like. This is what vegetables taste like cucumbers taste so good and fresh and flavorful. And to me, just any kind of food in its plain natural state has a lot of flavor. I think we over flavor things and douse things in sauces, and we douse them in rubs and spices and this, that, and the other, and condiments. So it's a really good thing. If you must though, just make sure that it has 0 sugar, it has 0 calories, and it has 0 sodium. Got it? Great. So let's move on and let me show you kind of pictures of what I used and the brands of the items that I used. So let's go take a gander at that. These are the 2 teas that I personally like, but use whatever you like. I love Yogi's Green Tea Blueberry Slim Life because honestly, it just tastes good. It tastes good without any kind of sweetener, and I just like it. It also comes in a bag with a string on it, so it's easy to navigate. The Celestial Seasonings Green Tea I got because it is decaffeinated. I am definitely caffeine sensitive, so if you are too, you can use a combination like I do, or you can use decaf the whole time. Now the Celestial Seasoning comes in bags, but doesn't have a string in it, so you'll need to use your spoon to dish it out, but otherwise very good. So these are my 2 teas. Honestly, for oatmeal, you can use whatever oats you like. I happen to have this giant container of Quaker oats. It was definitely a pandemic purchase, a PPP. But anyway, I had this giant thing, but you can also use bagged oats if you want to. I just wouldn't use any that has like extra sugar or dairy or anything extra. Just use plain oats. And these are the kind that you cook on the stove. You can also use the kind that you just microwave. So any kind you want. I like just plain old Quaker oats, old fashioned oats. And I also like Trader Joe's rolled oats. Those are great too. And then as far as the fruit, I pretty much like berries. Berries are pretty low on the glycemic index chart and don't make me hungry or crave carbs. So I pretty much stick to strawberries, blueberries, dark cherries, and
If there are raspberries or blackberries, I'll get those too, but I like to get them frozen because I tend to not be able to keep fresh fruit in my fridge fresh that long, so frozen's a great alternative. After you make the oatmeal, you just stick this frozen fruit in maybe the last minute or so while it's cooking, and it's perfectly warm and not crunchy or frozen or icy. Alternatively, I will put like apple slices on it as well. I'll like chunk them up and cut them up, and that's delicious too. Now, the kind of flax seeds that I use are these golden roasted flax seeds from Trader Joe's. I usually have them in the whole seeds, as you can see here, and I also have them in ground, but unfortunately I was out of the ground ones, so I decided to grind them up myself in the Vitamix. Here's the problem. The Vitamix mixer is really super duper powerful, so instead of making it into like smaller grinds, I just wanted a finely milled powder. It actually made it into a nut. Well, actually, I guess a seed butter. So kind of like, you know, sun butter, that's an alternative to a nut butter that is made out of sunflower seeds. This is basically the consistency of peanut butter or sun butter. But you know what? I put peanut butter and almond butter all the time on my oatmeal, and it's actually delicious. So I basically just put it into my Vitamix, and then I just put it into this jar for safekeeping in the fridge, and I put a tablespoon on top of my oatmeal as well. Choosing apples are just not rocket science. Just choose whichever kind you want. I happen to like Granny Smith, and I happen to like any kind of red apple. I like Gala apples, I like Honeycrisp apples, so whichever kind of apples you want, get those. I just make sure that I wash them thoroughly, obviously, and then I dry them thoroughly, and they stay actually fresh for a long, long time in your fridge. So I actually keep them in these colanders and just stick them right into the fridge and grab them whenever I need them. So this is the first thing I put into my body, which is 16 ounces of water and a cup of green tea. And here we have breakfast. So I break my fast after 8 hours of intermittent fasting with 3 hard-boiled eggs, again, 16 ounces of water and green tea. My lunch is 16 ounces of water, 3 more boiled eggs, and an apple. And let me tell you, that apple tastes so incredibly sweet and juicy at this point. For my afternoon snack, I have 16 more ounces of water. I actually switched to decaf green tea because I'm caffeine sensitive, and even though green tea has less than half the caffeine of a cup of coffee, I just don't like to have more than the equivalent of a cup of coffee worth of caffeine a day. So I switch in the afternoon, and for my evening green tea, I switch to decaf, and again, there's another delicious apple. This is my delicious dinner, which is oatmeal, and tonight I'm having blueberries, and the blueberries completely turns the oatmeal like bluish purplish, which I think is really pretty and cool. And then I have flax seeds on top, so very, very good. I like to eat it in this cup because it reminds me of an Alice in Wonderland gigantic cup. But anyway, this is an oversized jumbo cup, not a teacup, so trust me, there is a lot of oatmeal up in there. Around 8 p.m. at night, I have my very last cup of green tea. If I didn't say this before, I put about 6 to 8 ounces of hot water in it, and that's it. I just let it steep for 5 to 8 minutes and you're good to go. I do decaf at night because I don't know, I love sleeping soundly, and I don't like to have caffeine in my body that late. Totally up to you, totally your choice, but I like to have it around 8 o'clock. So that's it. That is an entire day on the egg diet.
Okay, this is my first check-in after 24 hours of doing the egg diet. And let me tell you, I am pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I'm totally not hungry. You would think, because you're not even eating that much. You're eating like 6 eggs and 2 apples and some oatmeal with some fruit with some flax seeds on it. But I haven't been hungry all day. I have, however, been peeing like a racehorse. I seriously have never urinated this much in my entire life. I think like every hour I go multiple times. I'm drinking an obscene amount of green tea and an obscene amount of water. And let me tell you, I am not one of those people who drinks like all the water they probably need to in a day. So this is probably good, but my body is in shock. So peeing like crazy. Let me tell you how much I lost. I lost 2.4 pounds in a day. Like, I don't lose that much in a week when I'm doing regular weight loss stuff. That's not, you know, kind of a crazy diet like this one. So very pleased with that. Very surprised with that. And it's not bad at all. Like, I'm definitely not a huge egg fan, but you know what? For this kind of weight loss, I'm on board. And you know what? I'm looking at my hair right now and I look like the long lost cast member of Friends. Like I kind of have Monica's hair color and Rachel's style. And a little bit of like Carol Brady's 70s flip from the Brady Bunch. Pandemic hair is awful. I'll check in with you tomorrow. Okay, bye. Day 2, and I'm feeling really good. I learned my lesson and I pretty much tried to drink most of my water and most of my tea earlier on in the day, and that really helped with the running to the bathroom thing. But I was so elated because I lost an additional 2.2 pounds for a total of a 4.6 pound weight loss in 2 days. That's pretty phenomenal. I will check in with you tomorrow. You know what? Today is, I think, day 4 check-in, and I lost another 1.8 pounds. And I think that brings me, oh my gosh, to a total of 7.8 pounds lost. It's almost 8 pounds in 4 days. So I'm over the moon ecstatic. I didn't really have any preconceived notion of how much I wanted to lose, but I was just like, hey, let's see if this works. So it does indeed work, but I will say, I was a little nervous that maybe there wouldn't be a loss for multiple reasons. One, because, you tend to lose a lot of weight the first day or two that you're on a diet. Although this is January and I may or may not have eaten like a fool in the holiday weeks. So I feel like I definitely didn't have a hard time like having a calorie deficit. But I also switched the order of my meals, which I know that sounds crazy to some people, but I'm a rule follower. So I like to, do things in order. And if there's a plan, I like to eat everything at a certain set time, which is silly because I think the most important thing is that you actually do intermittent fasting and you eat within the window of 12 and 8. But I think within that window, I don't think it really matters if you have oatmeal before eggs or whatnot. So I swapped lunch with dinner, and I was like, I wonder if there was some like magical scientific reason for having the order of the foods. And I'm thinking no, because I lost 1.8 pounds. So great day. And yeah, this is more than halfway through the experiment. So it's going really, really well. Hi, I'm so tired. I lost another 0.8 pounds. So I think my total weight loss now is 8.6 pounds, which is super awesome. However, I feel like death. I have no energy. I never want to eat a hard-boiled egg or oatmeal or an apple ever again for my entire life because I feel like I'm just repeatedly eating cardboard, tree bark, sand, and dirt mixed up together. I'm so bored of the food. I like flavor. I do. I like flavor. I like variety. That's how I feel. So yeah, I think tomorrow's the last day, and I'm super excited because this has got to come to an end. This is not fun. It's not. I'm not hungry. I'm totally not hungry. Yeah. The last 2 days, days 6 and 7, are identical in the fact that I am literally dreaming of like, what can I eat? And I'm not dreaming of cheat foods. I'm dreaming of like, wow, a mandarin orange would taste amazing. Like the explosion of citrus juice in my mouth, what would that be like? I'm like, a piece of plain toasted Ezekiel bread. That would be yummy, like totally yummy. So that is the kind of stuff that I am dreaming about, like really bland, like diet food being amazing, because this food is just, I don't know, I'm not good with repeating things. I just don't like the same stuff over and over again. I like variety. So I am suffering in that way. I'm kind of tired and, but sleeping well, like sleeping many, many hours through the night. And as we all know, ideally you should get at least 8 hours of sleep if you're trying to lose weight, because your body needs time to rejuvenate, to heal, to work out, digest, and that would be ideal. So I am getting enough sleep, so that's a good thing. There are a lot of other things happening in the world right now that are absolutely bonkers in coconuts, which I'm sure has an effect on how I feel as far as the tiredness and the lethargy and but I'm, believe it or not, still not hungry. That's kind of surprising but nice, but I am bored to death of this food and I can't wait to end. So yeah, 6 and 7 days, the last 2 days. I'm just so excited for different food tomorrow. And of course, it's really important not to eat really bad processed, like sugar and sodium laden filled foods, or to eat, a super amount of calories when you get off a diet that is like the egg diet. So definitely make sure that during the week that you're on this egg diet, to figure out what is my transition plan? How am I going to transition to either, a normal healthy diet if you lost all the weight you wanted to, or if this is a jump start to further weight loss, really get all the details. What am I going to eat day to day? Plan it out. If you need accountability partners, get those friends and just plan out and actually buy and have your food in your fridge and in your house and in your cabinets so that you can go ahead and continue your weight loss journey. So that's it. Those are 7 days. Oh, weight loss. So for day 6, my weight loss was 1 pound, 1.0 pounds, a whole entire pound. And then for my last day of weight loss, it was 0.4 pounds. So there you go. So I'm really excited about the results. It's just that the actual diet, super boring, super not yummy, and no. But my stomach has shrunk. I have slept better. I haven't been hungry, and I've learned a lot of good habits, and it actually solidified my intermittent fasting interval, which I'll talk about more. All right. So my total weight loss from all 7 days was exactly 10 pounds. That was pretty awesome. I was just like, you know what? I'd be happy if I lost 5 pounds in a week, because I normally, I don't know if you know this, but I lost over 100 pounds. So when I was doing that though, a lot of the times, I'd be really happy if I lost a pound or a half a pound a week, especially after the very beginning, initial week or two of dramatic weight loss. There are weeks that I was like, yay, I lost 0.2 pounds. So out of this diet, I was thinking, wow, if I lost 5 pounds, that would be amazing. 10 pounds exceeds my expectations. And by the way, I did not exercise at all during this. Did not exercise at all. I probably would have lost more weight had I exercised, but I did not. So if you choose to, good on you. You're awesome. So good for you. So yeah, 10 pounds is my total weight loss. And let me just explain intermittent fasting just a little bit more. I think I did a pretty decent job, but basically intermittent fasting is 16 hours of the day. You don't eat. You let your body rest. A lot of those hours you are sleeping. I'm hoping that people are getting, 8 hours a day. That would be great. For certain age groups, 8 to 10 is even better. So think about it. Half or more than half of the time that you're fasting, you're sleeping, right? Not that big of a deal. So you're only really fasting for I don't know, I can't do math, but 6 to 8 hours, really, if you're waking hours, or if you're late sleeper, just decrease that number. You know what I mean? Decrease it. So it's an intimidating term, but it really isn't that deep. So there is an 8-hour spread, and this 8-hour is time frame is continuous. You can't break it up in chunks. So you choose 8 hours of the day that you eat, and you stick to it. So that is, in a nutshell, what intermittent fasting is. And yeah, I love it. I did it long before this egg diet. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and it has really helped me with my overall weight loss story. If you want to know more information about that, I'm happy to make a video about that. Just let me know in the comments below. So here's a question that lots of people are asking. Was it worth it, and would you do it again? Well, I will say it sucked at parts. As you can see, the last 2 days or 3 days, I was on the struggle bus. So definitely it was, not as easy the last 3 days. However, do I regret it? Absolutely not. I lost 10 pounds and now I'm super motivated to eat healthier. I am not a doctor or a nutritionist, but I feel like my stomach has shrunk. I am completely less hungry. I have less cravings. I'm super appreciative of all the foods that I'm eating now, which are very, very healthy. I also physically, like I look at my cheekbones and I see that my cheekbones are more cut, and I definitely notice the difference in my body. I'm just slimmer and leaner. I mean, 10 pounds is a lot. 10 pounds is a lot. So am I happy? Sure. Would I do it again? Heck to the yes. And I have zero regrets about it. So I would do that. You make your decision. You do boo. You do boo. You do you boo. Yes, you do you boo. So what else do I want to tell you? Yes, for some of you, by you, I mean my friends who I communicate with right now, like on Zoom and on FaceTime, people have asked me, like, how do you boil eggs? Funny you should ask. I actually made a bonus video for all of you this week. So I will try to, I don't know, connect it here or maybe here. This is my first time trying to highlight a video within a video. Could it work? Maybe. Could it fail? Maybe. So I will also put a link to my how to make eggs 2 ways. How to make hard-boiled eggs either in the air fryer. Did you know that? Yes, air fryer, honey. Or how to make hard-boiled eggs traditionally. So I actually make them, or used to make them, and sometimes make them the Martha Stewart method way, boiling, but boiling with a twist. So somewhere up here, I don't know, it could be right here, it could be covering my face, it could be up my nose, I don't know. I'm going to try to put a link to the video on the screen, but if not, as always, a link and any kind of answers to any questions that you have will be in the description box below. So that's it. As usual, I would love it if you would like this video, comment, and subscribe, and click that little notification button so that you can get all of my videos every single week. I will have at least 1 video per week, but on some weeks, like this week, I have a bonus for you. So enjoy that bonus. Let me know if you try the egg diet, and I will see you next week. I just said net week. I will see you next week because clearly I am tired. Okay, I love you so much, and I'm Simply Susan. See you in a bit.